Is this your high school? Yeesh. Man, I'm really glad I graduated when I did.
Investigations are underway at Beverly Hills High School following claims of racial intimidation.
I'm going to tell you how scary it was.
This is what Bella Ivory is talking about. She's a fashion teacher at Beverly Hills High School who says on the day of the election, there was a mob going down the hallway.
There was just mob of kids, just so many kids outside my door. And they had one had a Trump flag on a pole, on a flagpole. Another, it was just so many of them. Some of them had on MAGA hats. Some, had on just Trump fans apparel.
She says someone tried to open her classroom door, says it upset some of her students.
At this school, I've had to deal with a lot of racism.
But at a recent school board meeting, students talked about how scared they were, given what happened outside Bella Ivory's classroom during election week.
And it became utterly impossible to just ignore it. From 8:30 to 2:30 all week, being at school felt like being in a nightmare. What the black students and Miss Bella had to deal with that week had absolutely nothing to do with politics. That week, being stormed, being called the N-word, being shunned, all because you were black.
It's crazy. Again, like when I'm sure there are younger people watching this right now who are like, oh yeah, man, it's every single day at recess. It's just a politics brawl. It's like a fucking Jubilee video every time we go out for lunch. Back when I graduated high school, nobody talked politics. I mean, it came up like sometimes, but like not really. The weaponization of social media for political purposes hadn't happened yet, and for that reason, young people weren't involved to the same extent. The most you got was like early proto-Gamergate stuff, or people like whining about feminism or something in the most banal and uninformed way possible. It wasn't like this.
Became the normal.
In recent weeks, I have seen racial slurs scrawled across the walls of our bathrooms, hateful rhetorics being spoken by fellow students in the hallways we share, and violent behavior towards Miss Bella in our club.
Bella Ivory also spoke at the board meeting.
They looked so frightened. Then I said, I'm not going to open the door. And then the student said, they look like KKK.
The district tells Fox 11, we remain deeply committed to upholding a secure and conscientious setting where students can responsibly and considerably engage in the democratic process.
So I don't understand what exactly so there was just like a mob of them, and what was that, the science building? And they were outside the door? And they knocked? It's not like the door was locked. It's a classroom. You can just go in. I don't understand what exactly happened. I Googled Beverly Hills High School Trump, and here's BHHS teacher says she was fired after criticizing Trump. That sounds about right. BHS teacher says she was fired after making a Facebook post that criticized President-elect Donald Trump in a recent demonstration where pro-Trump students gathered on the school's campus. Joni Garrett retired in 2023. And was teaching AP US history as a substitute teacher on a long-term assignment when she made the post. She said she received a phone call on November 13th from one of the school district's assistant superintendents notifying her of her termination. Damn, that's pretty direct. No jumping, no shouting. Beverly Hills High issues new rules after students celebrate Trump run. Was that the issue with this? Jumping and shouting? Was that like the problem with what they were doing? So this is such an American school way of handling an event like this. You know what I mean? It'd be like a widely publicized condemnation of the shouting of racial slurs in the hallway, and their response is like, okay, no longer can you shout. You have to be quiet or you'll get a demerit or whatever. God damn, man. Wait, there's a longer Fox 11 video. Pardon me and my interest in the
Underway at Beverly Hills High School following claims of racial intimidation on election.
Why are you so quiet?
Fox 11's Hal Eisner's live.
Weeks added to upholding a secure, investigating the claims, investigating the situation using all resources available, including this audio recording from a student's cell phone inside Bella Ivory's classroom.
If anything happens to me at this school, my family will come for your families. If anything happens to my son and BB, I will comfort their families.
Ivory says she wasn't making any threats, just sharing her feelings in a conversation that she claims was edited on social media.
What? That's not a threat? Okay. Well, Beverly Hills is Trump country, so yeah, that doesn't really sound edited. Sounds pretty straightforward, I guess. You could say it's not like a violent threat. You could say, yeah, she meant a lawsuit, but that could still be a threat. Is it really? Yes. Beverly Hills 2024 election result. Do they have... California takes forever to count the ballots. They have the numbers on that yet? Election results list, LA County, 2024 elections, general election. The city overall went 65-32 in favor of Kamala Harris. I don't see anything for Beverly Hills specifically, though. TikTok video that went viral captured the moment students roared in applause as others shouted 4 more years. It's like, I know it's, I guess it makes sense always that young people would have gotten wrapped up in this because young people are disillusioned and really susceptible to propaganda. BHHS banned flags attached to flagpoles. Well, I guess that's a little more direct. Still not as bad as Orange County? Probably not, no. Yeah, I don't understand this video. Security footage obtained by the Beverly Press shows dozens of pro-Trump students doing a student hallway. At one point, a student holding a Trump flag at the door of the group stops near the door of Ivory's classroom. One student knocks on the door. However, it is unclear if he's associated with the pro-Trump students. As the group passes, several more students knock at the door, appearing to motion to people inside the classroom as one tries to open the door. However, it's unclear if they're knocking or associated with the pro-Trump group. That's very ambiguous. I don't really know. Probably going to be a lot more of this. Generally speaking, I imagine that like more and more school districts, even in blue areas, are going to end up siding with, if not siding with, then at the very least, like, they're going to be cracking down on anti-Trump stuff, you know? Like, they're going to be saying, or they're going to be saying, like, students can't have, we are all welcome here, or rainbow flags or whatever in the classroom, because the loudest voices in these PTA meetings or whatever are going to be Republican parents. And there's always the risk that you get targeted by libs of TikTok or whatever. Like you get subjected to stochastic terrorism because there was a rainbow somewhere in your entire school building. Could this maybe push all the less stupid kids away from MAGA? I don't know. I mean, right now, Gen Z and Gen Alpha are like more pro-Trump than people. I was always warning about this. Everyone assumed that like, oh, once the boomers die, we'll all be communists. No. I've been arguing against that stupid point of life. That's like a very liberal way of thinking, you know? Oh, people just have like innate political associations and there's no force that could lead to young people shifting rightward. Every generation will be more left-leaning than their parents. That's not how that works. They all had many, many babies and Christian schools were extremely well-funded. Wrong again. That's not the reason why this is happening. It's because of right-wing capture of social media, not some idiocracy theory where you're like breeding more right-wing babies. It's not a reproductive issue. What do you think is for Gen Z and Alpha what lead was for Generation X? Right-wing weaponization of social media. The idiocracy bullshit is just leftist eugenics. Yeah, it's pretty bad. When the parents are assholes, their kids become assholes. Nope. Also not. No, I keep telling... Right-wing weaponization of social media. If it was just like your parents are right-wing, then there would never be a shift politically in the like generations because everyone would just follow their parents. It is purely down to the social media element. That is what has led to it. Economic ennui, a lack of hope in the future, stuff like that. And also the fact that, let's be clear, most cities are Democrat run and they're shitholes. These are probably not factoring in positively. But for the most part, it's right-wing control of social media. Should we participate in school board meetings to counter the loud conservative voices? Who the f is we, ZK Gaming? Are you a parent? Who's we? I'm not a parent. So is that right-wingers didn't control social media for the first decade, but since they do now, it's creating more right-wingers? Yes, that's what that means. Why are Democrat-run cities shitholes? It's not that Democrats running them makes them shitholes. It's that they're shitholes and Democrats run them. Republican-run cities are also shitholes, but most cities are Democrat-run. American cities suck, bro. They really do. It really does push a lot of people to the right. And the local democratic governance does not do much to make it better. Or, you know, anything at all. American cities are shit, suburbs are shit, rural areas are shit. Is there any place that isn't shit? There's shit in completely different ways. If you go into, like, any city, you will be immediately struck with a bunch of problems that make Republican solutions sound more compelling. Like the presence of homeless people, the fact that our cities are filthy. Suburbs aren't shit because they're filthy and full of homeless people. They're shit because they're designed to feel inhuman, unwalkable, unlivable, and they make everyone alienated and depressed. But that's not the kind of thing. People aren't talking about that. Republicans and Democrats are both pro-suburb. So there's no political line there. There's no axis along which people are making decisions. There's no choice to make there. Unless you're watching pro-urbanist content on YouTube, for the most part, it's just like, oh, suburbs? That's just how they are. But as for cities, the relationship between Democrats and Republicans is pretty stark. Republicans are like, yeah, kill all the homeless, put them into, you know, wood chippers or whatever, and that'll clean up the crime. That'll clean up the cities, which it feels pretty compelling if you're an idiot. Whereas the Democrat solution is do literally nothing. The Democrat solution is either put homeless people in a wood chipper, but like nicer, like in a more nice fashion, or do literally nothing and let the city rot, you know? In which case, like, yeah, people are going to side with Republicans.